Welcome back to video 2 for our first project. And we're going to get into actually adding some content to the web page today. So we're going to click the class that you're in and then continue working on the project. And here is where I left off last time. Remember, we got our files right here, instructions to see the rubric and videos. Here's the class web page. I'm just going to click the projects page, take us right to it. And you can see a breakdown of everything that needs to be on this web page. So if you want to look at the rubric, we can click this. And there it is. So these are all the things that need to be present on the actual project. So you need to have a photo of yourself, a couple different types of lists, a link to an external web page, a little contact info area. You need to include a horizontal rule somewhere, have a section for us to link any of our future projects that we make, and then do something with font and then some CSS styles. All right. So it's all stuff that we have practiced before, but now we're just using it all to be able to actually put together a single project. So now we'll reference this as we go along, but let's get back to the actual project. Okay. So the head, remember last time we turned this into Josh Project 1. So I don't need to mess with anything in the head section. So I'm going to minimize that. And then everything we're going to add is now going to be in the body, right? So hello world is just kind of like standard. Any project you open is going to say hello world right there in Replit. So we're going to go ahead and delete that. And from here, I'm going to do my very first thing. So if you notice, if we go back to the web page, there's this is an example, and there's a couple inspiration things. So these are like really famous computer scientists. This guy doesn't even have a picture of his, but notice this is just pure HTML, right? It's just the name, quick little bio, and then like a little bit about the person, and then all the books, advice, all this kind of stuff. We got some horizontal rules. So this is really kind of what we're making or basing our first project off of. And this one at least has the guy's picture. Okay. And same thing, horizontal rules, links, all that good stuff. So we're going to make one, and this is kind of an older version that we're going to recreate a little bit of one that I made, but something like this. We're going to have a picture. All right. So first thing I'm going to add is an image. So I'm going to type in image. Oop. And remember, with an image, I need a couple different things inside of that tag. I need a source. That's going to say what my actual image is. And then I need an alternate text. Then I can close that. Okay. So remember, we need to add a file here. Now I already made a picture file for me to put in here. Okay. So if I want to add a file, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this file kind of like manager up over here. So add a folder. I'm going to call that folder images. And now any type of images that I'm going to use in my website are going to go in this folder. Okay. So I already have one that I've downloaded. So let's go upload file. I'm going to click the little 3 dots right there for upload file. And then I'm going to find it. Josh face. Okay. And then you notice it kind of put it outside of that image folder. So I'm just going to click it and drag it into that folder so that it's in there now. And there's a picture of the good old face. Good Lord. All right. But if I want to reference that file that I just put in there, right? If I just put, for the source, if I just put josh-face.png and then my alternate text profile picture, right? It's not going to know what I'm talking about yet because this isn't the actual location of it. So it is in the folder images. So I got to put images/joshface. Right. So that's saying, look in the images folder for a file called josh-face. There it is. And it is gigantic. But remember, we can resize it and everything in the CSS. I'm just going to work on getting everything that I need in here. And then once everything is in there, then we can work on styling it using CSS. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to need, kind of like this was, I'm going to have my name. Okay, so let's make an H1. And you'll notice one of the nice things that Replit does is when I close this tag here, it does a little autocomplete where it's like, oh, you opened an H1 tag, so let me just add a closing one for you. And then you can type in whatever you want there. So again, I'll show you that. I type H1. As soon as I close it, it creates a little closing tag. And now I can just write my name. Okay. And next, I want to add a couple little like almost bullet point things about me. So that's going to be in a paragraph, and we're going to put computer science teacher at Sunny Slope High School. I'm going to resize this just a little bit. Boom. Let's do another one. Head track coach. And let's do one more paragraph. Let's see what this looks like. FBLA advisor. Sure, those are all things that I do at the slope. So now if I hit run, there we go. There's my name. All that stuff is pretty spaced out. Okay, but again, we can mess around with that stuff here when we get to the CSS. Right now, we're just going to work on getting everything into the body. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bio about myself. There we go. Again, I just kind of broad strokes of describing myself. I don't know why it's got a green line under occasionally. I don't know, did I spell that wrong or something, but is it 2 S's? I don't know. Okay. Next, underneath all that stuff. So again, I can hit run. Okay, I got that stuff. Now let's do a HR. Just to make sure, kind of separate this from the next piece. So that horizontal line just showed up down there. And then the next thing, if we look at our rubric, again, you don't have to go in this exact order, but these are just things that we want to have. We want to have an unordered list and an ordered list. So those could be anything that you want to do. Again, you're just displaying your ability to make these two types of lists. So you can make lists for whatever you want. Okay. I'm going to make a list of, let's see. Let's go favorite books. This is going to be an ordered list. And so I hit enter, and then remember any item. So ordered list means that it's going to be ranked. It's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then any item that I want to appear in that list, I use an LI tag for list item. Okay, and so from here, American Gods, and let's do Neil Gaiman as the author. And then I'm going to list out a few more books here. There. So I got 4 books. And so when I hit run, just to kind of see what's going on. So we got that horizontal rule that I made there. And then I have my list. There's my H3, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4. They're ordered. All right. Next, we need an unordered list. So now let's do something that doesn't actually like need a rank. So let's do hobbies. And now for unordered list, remember the tag is UL. And then I'm going to add all my list items here. There we go. All right, so if I scroll down, I got favorite books, and then it's ordered list, and then I have hobbies. And now you see these are all bullet points because it's unordered. All right, so I got a couple different lists there. And then next thing I'm going to do is a horizontal rule. And the little spaces that I'm doing, remember, are not necessary. This is formatting our HTML to kind of make sense. So this is what's called white space. Right now I have dark theme on, so it's like black space, right? But this is just to add some spacing to our code to make things a little easier to read and to make sense when you're looking at it, right? So if I run this, I have favorite books, hobbies, and now there's another horizontal line down there at the bottom. Okay. And so if I look at the rubric again, we have a couple of those things. I need an external link to something. So this is something that was covered in one of the challenges on code.org. But let's make Sunny Slope High School a link. And so if you want to look up link again, W3 Schools is always a good one. MDN is another really good resource. So I'm going to look up MDN HTML link, the external resource link element. And this is not what I need. There we go. The anchor element. That's the one that I'm looking for. So the anchor element is what we use to make links in an HTML page, right? And so you see this little demo, and this is the guy right there. So that A tag for anchor, and then we have an href attribute. That's where you actually tell it where it's going. So watch what happens here. Okay, I'm going to make this Sunny Slope High School into a link. So what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to say A. And notice it just made a copy, like a double right there. So I'm going to put the closing anchor tag on the other side of Sunny Slope High School. Okay. If I run this, I actually don't know what it's going to look like. Doesn't look like anything yet. Okay. Inside of this anchor tag, if we go back to MDN, remember we need an href to show where this link is going to go, like what its destination is when it's clicked. So I'm going to say href equals, and then let's look up the Sunny Slope website. Okay, and I'm just going to copy this website and paste it right in there for the href. So now I have this anchor tag. I'm telling it where I want the link to go. And then whatever text is between those two anchor tags is the text that's going to show up as the link. So now you see this Sunny Slope High School shows up as a link. Okay, if I open this in another page, I click it, let's see if it works. Hey, what do you know? All right. One of the tricks that you can do too is another attribute that I can add inside of this anchor tag. I can say target equals blank. Okay, if I refresh this page now, when I click it, that target attribute that we just added makes it open in a new tab. So that's something that you can choose to do. Usually it's kind of good practice that if you're going to create a link that goes to an external website, then you want it to open in a new tab. All right. So that right there, that piece is what's responsible for making this into a link. Okay. Let's go and check our rubric again. So we have an external link. The next thing I need is a little contact info area. And usually that's going to be at the very bottom. So let's see. H3 contact info. And then this we can just write contact me. And then joshua.cunningham. Okay, so there we have just a piece of information. One thing I do not want you guys to do is put like personal identifiable information on. So you do not need to put your address, your phone number, anything like that. What you can do is you can put some links to social media or anything like that. Obviously, it's going to get blocked by the school internet. But if you're loading up this web page at home or on your phone or anything like that, then those links would work. So you can add your link to social media or Twitch or whatever you want to do. Okay. Let's see what else. We got our horizontal lines, a project section. Okay. This is something that is new this year. We're going to start linking we're going to use this web page that you're making as a portfolio for everything that we're doing. So what you need to do is I'm going to make a little space because actually above the contact info, what I want you to do is have a section for any of your projects. Okay. And we're going to go here, and then we can simply just make maybe a unordered list. And in here, you can add some links to the code.org projects that we have done so far. So I would use the knowledge that we just learned with our anchor tag, right? The thing that we made this Sunny Slope High School into a link. You would take and make a link right here for any of the projects that we've done in code.org up to this point. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a horizontal rule. Whoop. So let's see what this looks like. So I got my gigantic picture, right? Name, a couple things about me, a quick little bio, some lists, another line, class projects that we'll add stuff to, and then contact info. So let's double check. All right. Font, have at least one example of italics and one example of bold font. Well, that we can do in the styling. So all of the styling stuff will be in the next video. But for right now, it seems like content-wise, this is really all we need for that first project. And again, it's a project and it's supposed to be kind of fun. So you can add whatever you want. Your list can be whatever, your projects, if you've done anything in the past or anything else that you want to link, you can add in there. All right. But have a little fun with it, add your stuff. And in the next video, we'll go over how to actually make this not look terrible.